disaster. Could kill any innocent body, any little child. And this is what will continue to happen under the policies of the PNM. When they watch and people ain't stupid, you know. People ain't silly, you know. When people see that a president could break the law, when people see that a prime minister could break the law, when people see that a minister paying himself over $20 million a year in rent, when people see another minister, Stuart Young brother, getting all kind of contracts, when people see a woman went with some credit card and lick it up and some bag of money by some bank, when people see all these things happening, you know what the youths are them saying? Boy, we don't care about voting, boy. We don't want no part of voting, boy. If them thiefing, boy, want to we, boy, we thiefing too, boy. We robbing too, boy. We could do what we want to, boy. That is the attitude of the youth. And my mother always tell me, don't mind she's a PNM, my mother always tell me that the fish does rotten by the head. And if we have the head of state, if we have the head of the legislator, if we had the head of the judiciary, and if we had the head of the executive, all corrupt, what do you expect the society to be? Don't fool yourself, people. This is what you will reap. The good book tell we will reap what we sow. Yes. Let me take a break, okay, and run some ads here again. Yes.
Okay, Rudolph, make her right. Then, oh, hold on. Mrs. Claus sent a WhatsApp. The elves are hungry. Pick up a Royal Castle Queen bucket, a King bucket, some royal wings, a family meal, a few combos, some extra delicious coleslaw, crinkle cut fries, potato salad, and a snack box for yourself. Oh, and don't forget that delicious honey mustard sauce. It's really lashing. Okay, Rudolph, let's get that delicious local Trini flavor. Royal Castle, here we come. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Happy holidays from Royal Castle.
U975 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio and Multicultural Television MCTV, bringing you back where you belong. Part of the Rhythms Communications Network. To advertise with us, call 218-7820.
It's time to make your community better than before. Join yours truly, Kieran Joseph Samaru, on Your Community. We'll be discussing the important issues with the important people in the place most important to you, your community. Join us every Tuesday at 9 p.m. right here on MCTV as we know and make your community better than before.
Coming soon on MCTV, the local Palooza show and countdown. Hosted by TNT's rock ambassador, Bees High Five, the metal merchant. See and hear all your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock alive. Rhythms Communications Network. Local Palooza show and countdown. Coming soon on MCTV, the local Palooza show and countdown.
You're locked on to U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, 7:31. Hey, you gotta check out Waves Restaurant and Bar at Old Grafton Beach Road, Seaside, Black Rock, Tobago. You can book your table. You can take out. Delivery options available also. Call them on 731-4646. That's 731-4646. Waves Restaurant and Bar. Old Grafton Beach Road, Seaside, Black Rock, Tobago. And of course, Lake Grand, Corland Spa Resort, Stonehaven Bar, Black Rock. You can get your breakfast and bed. Rates available. You can book. To book, you can call 283-2597 or 463-2946. And then we have Fresh Street Market your neighborhood supermarket. At number 3, Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway, Andrew Lane, Dabity, Mousika. Opening hours Monday to Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And on Sundays, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Yes, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, sir.
Well, not Anil Roberts, but Victor Roberts.
I had to go back and trace this Roberts thing, because I don't know if probably Anil's father was a naughty boy or my father. So,
but you were saying,
go back and check this.
You were saying earlier on that people should stand up. How are some of the ways that people can stand up? Because people who don't know about standing up and coming out, what are some of the ways besides in the protests and things?
But the most important way in terms of standing up in this country is to be vocal about what is happening. I see we have a call. Let's take that call.
Let's go. Hello?
Good night, caller.
Mr. Robert?
Yes, sir. Good night.
I would like to answer that question, please. The seats of every 41 constituency, we have a member we voted for. And when we call them out, they're supposed to come out and stand up with us. People need a leader. We just can't come out there and go as wild fowl or wild goat or wild pig. As long as we have a leader, they would stand up and tell the people what to do, what not to do, how to do it, and how not to do it. You see, like when religion took over these big countries, you know what Mr. Desmond Tutu said? They give us the Bible and they take our land. They make schools, they make churches to keep us into mental slavery. Jesus Christ has died for all sinners, so it are no sinners in the world again. One man killed the God and sacrificed him for sinners. Next one killed their God and celebrate with God for killing the devil. And this is why what religion and churches is not standing up for. It's honesty. And if the churches would come out and stand up, if you're teaching people to be good, then stand up and tell the Prime Minister he's not doing a good job. We have to come out and let him know that. You can't just come and bully people how you feel and say what you want, when you want, and how you want. And every from babies to elderly suffering in this country. Look at how much deaths going on, and not a single soul standing up for their own child will die. If Jesus Christ come back, we're going to put him on the cross again, That's why they say the higher you go, is the more evil it becomes. If you follow the Anglican priests, what they do to the young boys and the young girls, but they're talking about the young girls yet. But this is why the churches, if they don't stand up, condemn them forcefully. We, the citizens, have to be blamed for all what is going on.
Yes,
because
sir.
we have to stand up also.
Yes, sir.
Have a blessed and wonderful
Thank
day,
you
sir.
very much for your contribution. And that is exactly where I am heading. Take the next call one time.
Hello?
Good day, good day.
Good night again, gentlemen, once more.
Yeah, good day.
Don't worry about them church people. You understand? When everything over and it look good, they say, oh, we pray hard and we sacrifice and they fast and they pray for what? While the warriors on the field are fighting for injustice, against injustice and unrighteousness. Tell them why they are dependent on holy water. We are drinking fire water and we'll see them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. and this is reality. The leader of the opposition, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, make several calls for the people of this country to stand up. She has since started the October Revolution, which on the 12th of December at Debe Water Park, that is just opposite the that school inside there. My sister went to that school. Anyhow, just opposite when you reach the traffic light.
Yes.
Like if you're going south, you make the left and the water park on the right hand side. And this October Revolution, the leader said it will not stop until democracy comes back to this country. And on the 12th, there will be a motorcade foam gathering at the water park. And of course, the leader and others will make the necessary address to the people. Added to that, the caller states about 41 constituencies, which is quite correct. But all of us know for a fact that even though there may be some in the PNM who will want to come out against the PNM, they would not. For two reasons. One, some of them looking for leadership in the PNM.
Okay.
And those are the more dangerous individuals. Let me give Rowley a little bit of credit here now. We're going to give Rowley some credit. I remember under Patrick Manning that Keith Rowley stood up, and according to him, he spoke out against the corruption in relation to the Calder Hat issue. You remember that?
Yeah.
Corky?
Yes.
Right. And he was quite vocal about the level of corruption back then. It is unfortunately there's a passage of scripture which deals with, does thou doest the same thing that thou once condemnest? Who have eyes to see and ears to hear will understand that parable. But the point I'm making is, there are those within the PNM cabinet now who know, who understand, who seeing, who have no say. They are nothing but a number for Keith Rowley in the parliament. When Keith Rowley say vote, they vote. If we say abstain, they abstain. There lies a section of individuals who is nothing but a number. They carry the title MP, but they are just a number for the political leader. These individuals is the more wicked individuals. Because let me tell you something. How would you then stand up when that time reach, which may very well be very soon, when the PNM kick out Rowley? How would you now stand up and vie for a position of leader? Vie for the position of leadership, while all the wrongs, the ills were taking place, and you had the option to speak out, you had the option to do something, you had the option to vote against what is going on within the parliament, and yet because of the power that you are looking for as a member of parliament under the leadership of your political leader, you choose to remain quiet and to allow the country to head down a precipice without taking a stand. You are more wicked than those who lead. You see, people must understand that there is an action and there is a reaction. And if you are seeing that those who lead going down the path of destruction, you will sit and allow the whole country to go over the precipice and then throw a rope to see who you could pull back up. Man, you have to be wicked. You really have to be wicked. I see some members of parliament within the PNM that, in my frame of mind, I believe at one time that these individuals would have stand for what is right and forbid what is wrong. I really honestly believe that at one point in time. I within myself was saying, I think it's only a matter of time before these 2 or 3 individuals that I see inside there will make us take a stand against what is happening. But brothers, I am telling you, these people, the contamination spread so far within the minds that it gone to the bloodstreams. A matter of fact, that contamination now lies within the bones of people within the PNM party, so that this government could take this country down to the pit of hell, and these people will sit and say nothing. So that 41 constituency you will not see coming out. But I am obligated to make a call to the 300,000 plus, those undeciding voters,
Yes.
and those in the ghettos and the barrios that I normally speak to. I am depending on you to stand up in this country for yourself. Stand up and defend yourself. The opportunity to stand. The leader of the opposition create the opportunity. And what you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to utilize that opportunity and stand with the revolution. Stand with the October Revolution. Stand up and ensure that your voices, that your children, that your grandchildren will have a place in society. Take that call, brother, and let's go again.
Hello.
Welcome, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good day, sir.
I watching your show from Canada, but let me tell you, you see that 3 person you say there? That 3 person fighting for power.
Correct.
The 3 person, I know the 3 person you're talking about there, but the 3 of them fighting for power.
You're correct, sir.
Thank you. Good night, sir.
Yeah, good night. You're correct. So you see, not I alone know it and seen it. There's
Right.
people from far and wide seeing it. And that is the reality about it. But you see, I am calling on these individuals to stand. These people, you have to stand. You are the ones to make the difference in society. We must not allow the multitude to lead us to do evil. If you go through all the spiritual books, you will see it's a small group that really make the change. It's a small group that really have the air to make change. You know why? Because some people, they have become so tied up in their greed for power. And when you are tied up with that type of greed for power, you will create more destruction than the one who is in charge at this point in time. But let me tell you something as we get back to this original point. When we look at the contamination in terms of the independency in this country, the next arm that I wanted to deal with that is also contaminated, it is the judiciary. I don't know if you can remember that the Law Association at one point in time were clamoring day and night for the removal of the Chief Justice. You can remember that? Allegation left, right, and center in relation to the Chief Justice.
Yes.
Now, the Prime Minister holds the key, the power, and the authority was to initiate that tribunal in order to investigate the Chief Justice.
Yeah.
You know what the Prime Minister do with that? The Prime Minister keep that power in his back pocket. But I'll tell you what is so clever with that power in his back pocket. Putting the power in his back pocket, he also placed the Chief Justice in his back pocket.
My gosh.
That is how deadly this power really is. By placing that power to initiate that tribunal for that investigation in your back pocket, you put with it the Chief Justice goes within your back pocket, mix up inside of that power. And let me tell you something. You will see all these court decisions. You will see all these court matters that there will be one verdict coming out of it. One verdict, and the verdict will always be in the interest of the people's national movement. You will see. I mean, we seen it. It ain't nothing to hide about. We seen it. You will see every decision in relation to all these constitutional matters come out with one verdict, and that is as how far the contamination spread. I want to suggest something again. I have seen recently the opposition leader brought on a virtual Monday night forum an alleged document that was prepared and signed allegedly by Faris Alwari and one Vincent Nelson. Out of that document, we have seen certain deals that was made. All right? I'm not going to get into the contents of the matter, but we have seen certain deals made in relation to not prosecuting in certain avenues. I ask the question, and I am so fearful, my brother, trying to understand as to how far this contamination spread. I have seen that the Director of Public Prosecution state clearly that he knows nothing about that. And our constitution will show us that the Director of Public Prosecution is the man to make or to conduct any negotiations in terms of whether to prosecute or not to prosecute in order for the long haul. Remember, I say I will not get into the details of the matter. Now, the Constitution doesn't give the Attorney General any authority to enter into any deal with anybody. But I am concerned as to how far the contamination spread, because I am waiting to see if the same deal that Faris Alwari is how I should state that, allegedly responsible for. I am waiting to see the contents of the deal, if there was a deal between the Director of Public Prosecution and Vincent Nelson. That is what I'm waiting to see. And that is what is very much fearful in this country. Because if for some reason the deal that we see with Faris is the same deal that we see on the other side, then trouble smoke we pipe in Trinidad and Tobago. Take the call.
Greetings again. What I could say is heavy. You know, get into the nitty-gritty of the things, brother. Educate the people. Teach me, teacher.
Yes, sir.
Right on. Yes, this is PNM country. And as you say, it will be the back pocket full. Right? But God is the boss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, thank you very much. So, brother, I am saying that if when that time reach, the alleged document that was made allegedly by Faris Alwari, the Attorney General, if when that time reach, we see anything resembling the same kind of negotiation on the other side, I am saying that that is the final nail in Trinidad and Tobago. However, if that is not the case, there is still a little hope to salvage this country.
Right.
But if the contamination spread to that level, then Trinidad and Tobago finish.
gosh.
There is nothing to bring back this country. And that is why we must safeguard. If, as I said, I don't believe for 1 second that it may have any resemblance. But I am saying, in order to safeguard the independency of this country, action must be taken now in support of the October Revolution.
Yes.
Take the caller, we go.
Hello?
Hello, caller, good night.
Mr. Robert,
Yes, sir.
you see, you is from library. You're the head of library. Are the people satisfying library? Are the people satisfying point? Are people satisfying in the West in San Fernando? Sober as you and the next, I can't remember his name. You will have to come out and get the people together, unite the people of your village. And a village that unite will always be in happiness. A village that divided will always have thieving, cheating, robbing, and stealing. We, the citizens of this land, must come together and give respect. I respect Mr. Rowley, but his attitude and the mannerism of him, I don't like it. Because when you could tell people about win an election with bananas and lies, you're cursing God in his face, And the chairs, and this is why the coups come in with losing every single thing from motherhood. People don't want to come here and invest anymore. And this is why lying must stop. Honesty, dignity, and transparency. I think Mrs. Kamla Prasad is the only lady who stood up around the world. She brings people, the president from Japan, China, all over, and bring them here for business. And what our government is doing, just telling lies and keep on telling lies, and we accepting this. God will like none of us. Trinidad, the people of Trinidad would disappear, but Trinidad would always be here. Have a blessed and wonderful day.
Thank you, sir. So if we reach to that level, then trouble in this country. And that is why, and Kola, I am doing my part in terms of trying to unite the people. There is a massive call also on the 30th of November, which is a people's call for the people to come together in the Queen's Park Savannah, which of course I will do all in my power to ask these same people to stand in every situation to get fairness, justice, and equality in this country. That call on November 30th, it is a people's call. It is a call also for people to come out and stand, and this call is really a call as a springboard, as a springboard for a lot of other calls, including the call on the 12th of December. This is a springboard because there will be a lot of other calls, including the call on the 12th of December to stand against the erosion of our constitution and our democratic right. So I am doing my part. I will continue to do my part. I really wear two hats. One as a community activist with the responsibility to looking after the interests of the people, not only in Laborie, but throughout the length and breadth of this country. And I am also a proud member of the United National Congress. Some people want to know how I do it, but I say that, look, there is an ability that God gives to each and every one of us in different forms, different measures, and different value. And we must be able to work our ability that God gives us to ensure things happen. Good night, caller. Good night, caller. Welcome.
Well, one more thing again. In the scriptures, all them so-called Christians and pretenders they're hiding behind the rocks because God has intervened. And Jesus said to them, all the pretenders, all the hypocrites, how long shall I be with you, O ye hypocrites? Have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And I have no problem with that statement. And I'll tell you why I have no problem with that statement, Kola. The sad part about that statement is that you are also right. And I will tell you why you are right. Under 2010 and 2015, these church people were so vocal, you swear was a bullhorn passing. The loudness could have mashed up your air bell. First they was loud. And it's sad to see that under this situation, they sit down and they just quiet. You know why they quiet? I will tell you why. Keith Rowley gave one Muslim organization 300,000 cash. 300,000 cash on the first occasion. I don't know how much they get on the second and third. The churches, boy, they get money that they wasn't even studying the collection for a while. But it's still are the wicked ones who still want to pick up the collection, even though Rowley gave them all that money and the members didn't have food to eat. So you can't get away from that. But that aspect of it, God will deal with them and that. You understand me, brother? God will deal with them and that. But at the same time, my job is also to point out the deceptiveness in plenty of them who came out and talk and came out and bawl and was on every media house talking. You understand? Let me tell you something. Yesterday I collect a document. Yesterday. And I started to read that document today. And let me tell you something. Brother, I couldn't help. I read the first 3 pages. And when I see, everybody else want to hear the correct thing, eh? Porky, when I saw. Yeah. I know who I talking about. And I know who I talking to. When I see, my people, what the UNC did with education, with the first 3 pages that I read between 2010 and 15, the first 3 pages in that document, let me tell you something. I rest on the document and I feel I could have a political meeting right there and then. And don't worry, you know, the information will come out. And I want to say this at the same time while I'm talking. Somewhere along the line, we had to put certain things in place. Because I'll tell you something. I am very much dissatisfied with the level of information that come into the public domain from my party between 2010 and 2015. I personally am dissatisfied with the level of information that come into the public domain. And I'm not speaking about the information that is coming out of what we are doing here. But let me take a break and we will come right back.
Yeah.
Welcome to Rhythms Communications Network.
We are Multicultural Television, MCTV. Total local programming, the latest news, all the sports, our culture. MCTV.
MCTV is broadcasting in HD on Flow 114, Digital 22, Amplia 119, Airlink 18, RVR 109, Mayaro Cable 103, ICNTG 120. MCTV bringing you back where you belong.
U975 FM, hot like pepper multicultural radio.
All the music you know and love, Played by the DJs who know how to mix it just right. We don't come slight, we come hot like pepper. Time has come. New 97.5. Make it your choice. Something for everyone. 97.5 FM. Music for you. It's all about you.
97.5 FM, Hot Like Pepper, multicultural radio.
Power to the listeners.
Okay, Rudolph, make her right. Then, oh, hold on. Mrs. Claus sent a WhatsApp. The elves are hungry. Pick up a Royal Castle Queen bucket, a King bucket, some royal wings, a family meal, a few combos, some extra delicious coleslaw, crinkle-cut fries, potato salad, and a snack box for yourself. Oh, and don't forget that delicious honey mustard sauce. It's really lashing. Okay, Rudolph, let's get that delicious local Trini flavor. Royal Castle, here we come. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Happy holidays from Royal Castle.
Waves Restaurant and Bar at Old Grafton Beach Road, Seaside, Black Rock, Tobago. You can book a table. You can take out. Delivery options available as well. Call them on 731-4646. That's Waves Restaurant and Bar. Old Grafton Beach Road, Seaside, Black Rock, Tobago. Le Grand Corlan Spa Resort, Stonehaven Bar, Black Rock also. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, you can call them on 283-2597 or 463-2946. Le Grand Corlan Spa Resort, Stonehaven Bar, Black Rock. And of course, Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket. That's right. At number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway, Andrew Lane, Dabity, Mausika. Opening hours Monday to Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And on Sundays, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket. Check them out.
Yes, sir. Welcome back. So Timothy Mohammed said, first day the government and the opposition chose Miss George for the Speaker of the House. I got real upset because she is biased and bad. And you are right, but yet wrong. The opposition, because of the majority, the simple majority that is needed in order for these persons to be selected, even though all the opposition members voted against, and he said George will still be the Speaker of the House based on the simple majority that the government have in place. So I am telling you that the opposition, even though the opposition will not support a number of decisions that the PNM bring to the Parliament, because it's not in the interests of the citizens of the country, yet because of the watered down pieces of legislation that Faris Alwari and Keith Rowley bring to the table, they passed it with simple majority. A matter of fact, within the Constitution, one of the pieces of legislation was the procurement legislation, which needed a two-thirds majority, to pass. And because of the watered down piece of legislation, they were able to remove the regulator and to make the necessary changes, giving the government the full authority, the minister, to do as he or she likes with public money. And these are some of the things that the people of the country, we sit down and accept. It's not the opposition, you know. We tend to want to blame the opposition in Parliament. Why they didn't vote and why they abstain and why this. Whether or not it will ever make a difference. It will not make a difference simply because of the simple majority. The people of this country, you have to recognize that your voice, you are the opposition. You are also, one caller said quite clearly, that you also have to participate in order to get the job done. And while we will do what we have to do by bringing these programs, bringing the information to you, this is merely to help you to understand that you as a citizen have a responsibility in this country. Right. You must not sit idly by and believe that because you elect someone, your job finished. Your job ain't finished, Mr. or Mrs. Your job now start. And this is the type of representation that we need to ensure going forward. We need to ensure a representation that when we elect someone to work for us, that person perform or they get out. We need to understand that putting a party in power, when that party start to operate as a dictator and start to bring draconian measures to the table, we have to understand that we have to take the bull by the nose hole and do what is necessary to get the government out. And we have the Constitution give us the right, we have a right to protest. Yes, we are in a pandemic, and yes, we will do what we have to do with all the health regulation in place.
Yes.
But we just can't sit down and say, hey, we under a pandemic and we have to wait. This pandemic is here to stay. And this government is not waiting for the pandemic to go to thief. This government is not waiting until the pandemic done to empty the treasury. A matter of fact, they are using the pandemic to help empty the treasury. They are using the pandemic to fill the pocket. They are using the pandemic to give the self contracts. They are using the pandemic to give the wealth of this country. The resources of this country belongs to the people. It belongs to every citizen of this country. It belongs to you. And until you understand that you have a responsibility, until you understand that your job doesn't just stop with your vote, is until we will understand, is until we will remain rather in this very grim situation that we are in. You have to stand. You have to do it. And we have to do it now. The time is now to do it. I hear some saying that, look, the PNM do a real great job with the COVID-19. Really? Well, if that's a great job for you, then you go ahead and support that. If you believe that that's a great job that the PNM do with this pandemic, you go ahead and support that. You see, some are only too biased and wicked with their own self. In 2019, long before the pandemic reached Trinidad, when the rumors that it was coming down the chain, when it was coming all through Europe and sailing all through the Americans and heading towards the Caribbean, Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC went to the Parliament and asked to debate to find a solution to deal with this situation from a holistic standpoint. The Speaker, the government, and all of them refused. All of them refuse.
Why?
The minister say, if we do get it here, might just be 1 or 2 cases. That is what the minister of health say. That idiot that always support. Right? We had the CMO. We had the CMO and all talking. Dr. Lakramburu asked him a question about if he goes, if he go and celebrate, if he would celebrate Carnival. And we had all of them flip-flopping. Take the call, brother. We will come back with that.
Hello?
Hello, good day, caller.
Again, gentlemen, again, one more time. If we had an intelligent leader, yes, and who could have used wisdom on behalf of the people to protect them, preserve them, and show them some kind of love and care, when they was boasting that we was number 1 in the country, you could have used a wisdom and open up the economy so people could maintain and finance themselves for as long as it increased. Then you could have applied the lockdown, so people would have income in their hand. But look what you do. You exercise a power that didn't belong to you and the people, and our people are facing a full price for the decision you make. You wanted to fight an invisible enemy? Eh? Basically, all we could do in the country is protect yourself from the virus. There's no sure cure. So we can be a victim of this virus anytime. And we are victims of the leadership and the cohorts in the country, and we are paying a serious price for it.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you, sir. And this lockdown thing was only a mama guy, you know, because this country was never locked down. I live in the Southland, and we could look at from Bonas, Ikakas, Galfa, Chatham, Portogandi, Losiro, Erin, Palo Seco, Mahawal, Mondiablo, going straight up to Moruga. We have while we were boasting that we was locked down, we had boatloads upon boatloads of Venezuelan coming through the porous border. Right in the back where I live, they were coming by the grab. The police, the biggest among the police were at one time was about 100 and something at one time. Was right not too far from in the back by me. So when them speaking about lockdown, they were only suffering our citizens from coming into the country because an election was imminent. That is what it was about. But the Spanish, the Delta, all the variant was coming as normal. So when I hear Stuart Young at the time talking about the government and we lockdown what? That was, and I only talking about the south. I ain't talking about in the east. I ain't talking about down in the west. I ain't talking about in the north. I just talking about south. We had over 15 areas that will take with 2115 that will take from the river mouth in the Bass will take just about 8 minutes with 2115 to reach across to any one of these areas. 7 minutes. So I ain't see what them was talking about lockdown and mama guy in the people and number one in the world, the number one thief in the world. That is what they was, the number one thief. The UNC support the government to go into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. They support them. The UNC supported it. And when they get the money, what they do? They went in and take the money when that money was supposed to be to organize, to get ventilators and to prepare beds and to have the country in the parallel health care system in a position to take care of our citizens. You know what rowdy them do with the money? They went and paid the contractors and the friends and partners for election. Half of that money went in the election campaign. So I don't see what people talking about in this country. People in this country sleeping. They ain't wake up yet. Sleeping in this country. Rowdy tell them we spent 300 billion on them. And they satisfied with that. No accountability. No checks, no balance. And they take that as a good tobacco. They happy with that. Some of them, if you count too much people get grant in this country, I think all of them they get everything except grant. A handful. I heard the minister at one time speaking about how much $1 million missing. The minister of community development. How much money missing? An investigation taking place and this taking place. You hear anybody get locked up? You hear they get back any money? But it's only game in this country. Game in this country. And the people in this country ain't seen what happened. Them ain't seen what happening. This is all your future, you know. All you feel this is the future of the UNC. All you feel what happening here and all these action that is being taken at this time. All you feel that is the future of the UNC. That is not the future of the UNC. That is the future of you, the people of this country. Yes. That is for you to survive. That is for your children to have a future. That is for your grandchildren to have a future. So when you sit down and you talking about the UNC and Indian and UNC and Indian, you are nothing but just illiterate. Because while you were speaking about UNC and Indian, those same Indian in the PNM government, they're making millions upon millions of dollars. You feel it's all you're making it? You feel that money coming in all your pocket? You feel all you're benefiting from this government that all you're calling all your government? All you're benefiting from this government is poverty and hardship. All you ain't getting nothing else. Some of you who have a little CPEP contract, a little CPEP work, all you believe that is gold. Some of you work in URP, all you believe that is gold. All you could mind all your family that. or you could pay all the bills with that, or you could send all the children to school with that, or you could buy a device for the children to ascertain education with that, or you could pay all the rent with that. This is the reality about things.
Yes, yes.
All your suffering, all you cannot go forward, all your family have no future under this government, and this had nothing to do with the pandemic. The economy was in trouble since before the pandemic, and all you went back and support this government. So what are they talking about now? It's pressure. It's pressure. I am talking from experience, you know. People that be calling my phone, people that be asking me to pay their light bill, people asking me to help them pay the rent. This morning, and I'm glad I'm on that topic. Yesterday morning, a lady called me from Point 14, and she said, Mr. Roberts, I want to talk to you. She said, I have a child going across Palo Seco Secondary School, and to date, no maxi taxi, no transport for the school children, nothing. They had to get up and hustle to come through the field for the morning. They had to hustle to try to get a ride, to travel through the field road to reach the school, not knowing what could happen to their loved ones through the field road. The amount of dead bodies that the police find in the field, decomposed, who get a throat cut, who get raped, who get thrown out of the car in that field road. We know how we school children hustling through the field to come to school to get our education. And this is what Point 14 vote for. This is what Library voting for. Some people calling me to come on a program in Library. Library agenda, I believe it is. To come and have a discussion.
Yes.
And while I will go and have the discussion, I have no problem. Because I ain't afraid nobody, I ain't afraid to talk. I will tell you something. This is what Library and Point 14 support. This is what they support for years. They had the opportunity to change it, and they went back and vote for a billboard. The PNM come 2 days before the election and put up a big billboard in Point Door Junction saying a port coming and a housing scheme coming and this coming and that coming, and they run and vote for that. They vote for a billboard. In 2015, Keith Rowley tell them I'm building a plywood factory. I done organize with Guyana and Suriname to get the wood, and we will get the raw material, and we setting up that factory in Point, which will bring jobs for over 500 citizens within Point 14 and the fence line community. Keith Rowley said it on a platform. They boast about the plywood factory. Today they can't see the ply. Today they can't see the ply, and apparently like the wood still coming from Guyana and Suriname. That is what they vote for. They vote for promises. This is what people like in Trinidad, promises. I teach my girl children that no man could come and promise them. They want to see things tangible. You can't promise my girl children them nothing, you know. They've been living on promises, because I teach them that at one time I am an old promise woman. I promise too.
Yes.
So I teach them, and that is why earlier I want to say I don't want my children to make some of the mistakes I make.
Yeah.
So I am teaching them the right thing. I have a little son they call Omar. Omar does be with me every opportunity he get.
Okay.
You know why? I'm teaching Omar from this age to be a defender of the people. I'm teaching Omar at that age, he's 9 years. I am teaching him to stand in defense of people. I am teaching him the principles. I am teaching him honesty. I am teaching him how to stand and what to stand. And I'm also teaching him, don't be afraid to stand, don't matter what.
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you something that you don't know. I get shot as an independent candidate on a motorcade.
How's that?
I get shot, and let me tell you again a quick synopsis.
Shot, you said?
Shot.
I thought you said shock.
Shot, chew, shot.
When
and
was
let me
that?
tell you something. That was in 2016. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
I went up independent in the district of Palo Seco. And while I went up in the independent, yes, I was called to several meetings by the PNM. I attended one meeting in Faizabad.
Right.
And I was told by members of the PNM that the Prime Minister want me to withdraw simply because the way I have helped the people within that part of the constituency in terms of speaking about hampers, I'm speaking about stationaries, I am speaking about all the necessary stationaries for the C exam.
Right.
My group will distribute to all the schools in that area. We had the first massive independence parade where we get members of the defense force to come and march down in that area. And when I was going up as an independent, because the people asked me to go, I went to several meetings and I asked for one thing in the last meeting. I said, look, tell the Prime Minister all I need is an affidavit as to what they're going to do for the people of Library, and I will withdraw.
Right.
I received a phone call about 2 weeks after, and the phone call stated that the Prime Minister would not be able to give that commitment. So I replied by saying, well, I will not be able to give any commitment. I am going to fight the election.
But who was the Prime Minister that time?
Dr. Keith Rowley. Again, hear the story quick.
Okay. Yeah.
While I was on the motorcade, cutting the story short,
Yes.
coming back from the Siparia, because part of the Palo Seco district, which is the constituency of Library, extend into Siparia for the local election, but it doesn't extend for the general. When we coming back, this beautiful lady sitting here driving the van.
Right.
My children in the van, including the same Omar, I stood up to the back of the van on the motorcade coming down the road. There's a corner we call Dangerous Corner.
Right.
The corner make a S. While we coming wrong Dangerous Corner, a TTRF, a Trinidad and Tobago regiment van, stopped the mic car to the front. When we came round the corner, we come to a stop because the mic car in front, 2 vehicles, then I on the van behind, and then 3 vehicles, then the big truck with the music and everything coming around. When I approached the corner, the army van drove out from in front the my car, which my sister was doing the announcement in, and drive alongside my van. The soldier wind down his glass, in come a flash, stretch his hand out, and listen what he said, victory to my black brother. Listen what I telling you, a African like myself,
Right.
And he bounced me and he drove off.
Right.
I gave her a signal. I said when I hit the hood twice, that means stop. When I hit once, that means go.
Yeah.
As I about to hit the hood to take off,
Right.
another soldier stand up right in the bamboo patch. And funny enough, with bodies in it. And this is no joke, I tell you, if I lie, I want anybody who was on the motorcade to say I lie. Stood up across there and shot me straight through my chest here. I gave me 2 long puncture. The bullet exit through the side of my spine to the back. I fell off the van. She started driving off, not knowing what happened, because the music truck jamming behind coming around the corner. But she said she heard the shot. But when I fell off the van, I managed to get up a kind of way, and I hooked my hand to the side of the van. So while she driving, she pulling me away from the area.
Yeah.
And it's the big truck DJ who stopped the music and said, "Look a soldier running, look a soldier running, look you running, look you running."
Yeah.
Brother, I going to tell you how dread this PNM is. Listen what I tell you, as God bear me witness,
Yes.
There was a certain member of parliament within that vicinity. Listen what I'm saying to you.
Yes.
There are people who saw when the army van came back and picked up the soldier with the rifle within that said vicinity. Listen what I'm telling you. I end up in the hospital. Keith Christopher Rowley stood up. I want to say it again. Keith Christopher Rowley stood up and said to the media that he do not believe that the shooting were political, and he will make a statement within the next couple of days. He said to the media that I am the head of the National Security Council, and I will be privy to information that you are not aware of. So in the next couple of days, I will make a statement. From 2016 to now. From 2016 to 2021, which is about 5 years. Today, Keith Christopher Rowley never stand up and tell Trinidad and Tobago why Victor Roberts get shot. He say he have the information. Never. I call out Keith Rowley on several radio stations. Tell Trinidad and Tobago why I get shot. Because, let me tell you, I'm going a little bit further. The police find a spent shell.
Yes.
The same night, the shell disappear from the Santa Flora police station. You hear what I'm saying to you? A team of police came down from Port of Spain to Santa Flora. From Port of Spain. And next day, the shell disappear. Let me tell you something before we take that call.
Yes.
I am telling you, this PNM is not no easy PNM, my brother. You hear what? Take the call and we will continue.
218-7762. Hello?
Good night, caller.
Hello? Hello? Go ahead.
No audio in Arima.
All right, you're hearing us?
Well, I have to take off the phone to call you. I got to put it back
All
on
right,
now.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Hello?
Go ahead, caller. He said he wasn't getting no audio in Arima.
No audio.
But everything on here.
Yes.
But
that's just frightening, boy.
Let me tell you something.
It's a serious thing.
To date, Keith Rowley never tell Trinidad and Tobago how and why Victor Roberts get shot. Never. And I call him out. Let me tell you something. This PNM is not no easy PNM, you know. And that is why I consider myself from that day, because look my wife there. The doctor say I could never survive. And here I am standing up to Satan down rather, talking to this audience.
Well, you know what? Talk about that, my mind go back on JFK and Bob Marley shooting and these kind of things.
Let me tell you something. You know why I have no fear to talk the truth?
Yes.
Because I consider myself dead already.
Wow.
And that is why I don't afraid to fight for the people.
Yes.
Because let me tell you something. Are they coming that I will die? Are they coming that I must die? Are they coming that I have to die? Yeah. But until that day, I will fight for the people with every breath, with every sweat in my body. That is my mission.
Yes.
And that is why I don't afraid to stand up and to express to the poor and the oppressed that this government is not a government for them. Let me take the call.
Hello?
Caller, good day.
Hello?
Good day, caller.
Yeah, I want to get the program.
Pardon?
I want to get on the program.
Go ahead.
You're on the program.
Go
You're
ahead.
on the program.
Yeah, you're live.
You're live.
I want to tell Mr. Roberts the condolences for what happened to him, but
he didn't die, so you're saying condolences.
Yeah.
He didn't die.
But no, thank God he's still alive to fight the PNM.
Right.
The wicked. The nasty wicked party.
Well, that ain't no joke. That ain't no joke.
Yes.
And that is why I am pointing out to the people that this is not a party for them. It is a party by them, but it's not a party for them. Never tell you something, brother. This PNM party that we talking about now, it is a party that have no mercy for you people.
Wow.
You figure this party have any mercy for you? This party have no mercy for you. This party don't care about you. You sit down, people are begging you, sit down in your own, on your own time and your own mind and examine your condition. Look at your condition from the days of since you started to vote to now, and see if your condition improve or your condition deteriorate. If your condition improve, I beg you and I urge you to vote PNM. If your condition improve, I'm saying to you, vote PNM, vote PNM. But if from that day that you are able to vote to now, and you have seen that your condition your family value, your family life, your children value, your children life deteriorate since that time to now, then what are you waiting on to support the United National Congress? This, I want to make this clear to you. Trinidad and Tobago is a two-party state. It's come like the Republicans in America and the Democrats. That is what it is. You are the people who have to make the party work for you. Listen to me again. Trinidad and Tobago is a two-party state. We have seen 5-6 parties try, failure. You, the people, have to make the party work for you. And if PNM is not working for you, then you have to get rid of it. And if UNC is not working for you, it's the same thing that apply. But you cannot sit down and judge a party off of rumors. Keith Rowley went on a blackboard with graph and data, just like how we bring email gate, and said to you, look, this was overrun. The UNC thief here, look, they do this, look, they spend that, look that, and give me, I go lock them up, I go charge them, I go put them in jail. You telling me 6 years you can't lock up nobody and put nobody in jail? So Trinidad and Tobago, I remember Keith Rowley by Pigot's Corner pull out a white paper from his pocket and beg you to give him the opportunity to get into government. He have the evidence to lock up the UNC, to lock up Kamala. He tell you that. 6 years. And what has happened? What has happened? It is the same as email gate. This is a prime minister that is a stranger to the truth. Keith Rowley like to lie. Let me say it again. Keith Christopher Rowley, yes, you, the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago, you are a liar. That is what I'm saying. You stood up. You tell my mother. You tell when my father dead. You tell my grandfather, he dead too. You tell my mother-in-law. You tell my children. You tell Labre. You tell Pointe-à-Pierre. You tell Point 14. You tell Faizabad. You tell Penal. You not closing down Petrotrin, Keith Rowley. You said that to us. You said that Kamla Prasad Bisesa, they are being mischievous. The government of Trinidad and Tobago, in case you was closing your fridge door and you didn't hear me, the government is not closing down Petrotrin, you pathetic liar. That is what you are. You tell us that to we face. And what you did 2 weeks later, lick up everybody. Esplanade state under oath. When all your lions say that the board, Esplanade and them recommend that Petrotrin be closed, take the call. You said under oath that Esplanade said under oath, caller, comment here. Take the call by the time.
218-7762. Hello?
Yes, caller, go ahead.
Well, gentlemen, once again, this man feel he was so mighty and powerful, he could have defeated and destroyed this virus. When the virus showed him that the virus is more powerful than him, when in a critical situation, he removed the SOE and he moved all restrictions and opened up the economy. He get defeated and he not know, and what do? He's blaming everybody now for it. Even Mr. Terence Yassin, what he said earlier on, he said that the nurses and the doctors and them are exhausted. How did it get exhausted? If all it take a proper control of this virus, our nurses and doctors would be working comfortably. Or let it get out of hand. And we're going to blame we, but we're ready to stand up to the occasion. We want all the assets and all that we was entitled to. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. And this is the point. Kamla Prasad Bisesa should be Kamla Prasad Akon. That is what she name should be. Kamla Prasad Akon. Because Akon sing a tune that you could put the blame on me And that is what Rowley doing, putting all the blame on Kamala. So she should be Akon. Go ahead, caller. Good night.
Yeah, good night. Calling from Trin City.
Good night, Trin City.
Roberts?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Roberts, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job like the other Roberts. Keep it up. Keep informing the people. And I want to humbly submit that PNM lost its way a long time ago. No, PNM is inherently corrupt since 1965.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you. I asking you, I'm telling you. No. PNM had a chance to redeem itself in 1980. And I'll tell you how. In 1980, Eric Williams passed away, right? About March 1980. Okay? Eric Williams passed away. So what the PNM should have done now, their internal members should have done was vote. They had a choice of voting our next man to replace Eric Williams until election. Okay? So the best choice after Eric Williams passing, the best choice to vote was Kamaluddin Mohammed. But they bypassed the Indian, and they went and vote for George Chambers. Right? I'm not an East Indian. I know the political. I'm a political analyst. My father was a union man back in the day. I wouldn't call the company because he saw all the corruption that was involved. That PNM involved himself in the state enterprise corruption. The best man to help bring back the PNM and put it on our path was Kamaluddin Mohammed. My third point, Dr. Rowley doing all this to get an IMF loan, and he get through with it, right? So I want all them little buffoons who went and murdered people in the Red House in April of in July of 1990, running through the Parliament chamber and telling Mr. Robinson and his MPs, talk to everybody IMF now, right? With those people facing the barrel of the gun. Well, when all they finish Barry Abu, go and ask Rowley now, talk to everybody IMF now. Bunch of bloody idiots. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Well said. And that is the problem. He stood up and tell us we're not closing down Petrotrin. Espany is on oath saying, while Keith Rowley said that the board recommend that Petrotrin be closed, Espany was the chairman. He stated that at no point in time that was ever the board recommendation. This man is a liar. That is what it is. This man sent the whole country into chaos by his decision to shut down Petrotrin, to protect his friend and his financier, to protect him.
218-7762. Hello.
Good night, caller. Go ahead.
A blessed night to you, Mr. Robert, as you come into a close.
Yes, sir.
You have given the people of Trinidad and Tobago good information. And to the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, if you all don't stand up for yourself, nobody can do it for you.
Beautiful.
Listen and listen and listen well. Mrs. Kamala, Passad Bissessa becomes the target board. And every time they pelt a lie at you, it becomes a bullseye. And you must understand, when you win something by lying, you have to protect it by lying. And we, the citizens of this land, must stand up. Must stand up. You see, from Dr. William days, when he came into power, you think the Queen couldn't give it to anybody else? But she never trust Indians. Because what has happened in India, she could have never trust an Indian, no part of the war. Because they fight back for the land. They are the first people to stand up against the British. And we must understand, the blacks and the Indians are the closest family.
Yes, sir.
One nation, Africa, India, wherever you are, we are one flesh, many colors, one feelings. Let us all come together and to stand up for stupidity.
Yes,
Let
sir.
us destroy corruption and fraud. And as we encouraging it, and we are the one punishing. You see, when God comes, They say climate change. Climate are changing. The rain is there, the sun is there. But the people of the wood, the greedy people of the wood, change the planet. They're cutting down the mountain to fill the sea. They're throwing all the nuclear waste in the Atlantic Ocean. Why you cannot go into the beach and bathe? Because it's running all over. Every sickness you think of, it's in the air. The Lord of nature, Mother Earth, when she shakes, she just breaks down thousands of buildings, kills thousands of people. We must understand, the greatest law is the laws of God, not of man. Man has been destroying ourselves one by one. Whatever we plant, we're going through. Mr. Roberts, thank you for such a wonderful program, sir.
Thank you, caller. So
Yes.
we wrapping up, we winding down, so we'll take one more call and we will have to close it there.
Yeah.
So the point remains, one more call, we have 3 minutes and we will wind up right at that point. 2 minutes? Right. So the point is, this is reality, this is what Espany said, and as a result of that decision, the country is in turmoil. We have no forex, we have no foreign investors, we have no oil, we have no gas, we have, and I want to go there, that will be a topic for next time.
Yeah.
But to the end of the day, this man is a liar. And my mother always tell me, show me a liar and I will show you a thief. So if a liar is a thief, then what would you expect will happen with the public purse in this country? I am going to release some information and I will wind up with this point.
Yes.
I am dissatisfied, my friend Corky,
Yes.
with the information. I have received a document in your presence last night.
Yes.
And what I am seeing in that document, I am saying that these information need to be put on the public out in the public domain on a monthly basis. Let us go back, UNC, let us go back to 2010 and 2015 and bring that information to the public so they will have a clearer understanding as to where the money went. They will see for themselves the number of activities, the construction industry, the education sector, the health sector, the oil and gas sector. They will see what has happened. Bring that information. We need to have those information on a monthly basis come into the public domain so people will be educated as to what happened during that period of time. And as a close, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most important things going forward in governance is that our constitution must be taught in school. Our school children must be educated with the constitution. So based on that education, they will have a clear indication when governments are abusing and misusing their power. I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to especially thank the Honorable Senator Arnold Roberts for having the confidence in me, allowing me tonight to carry on this program in your absence. I want to say a special good night to you, a special good night to the political leader and all those listeners who tune in to this program. Remember, on the 30th of November, the People's Pushback at the Queen's Park Savannah. And also remember that the October Revolution will be having a massive motorcade within the precincts of the Debe Water Park on the 12th of December. Come out in your numbers, gather with all your protective gear in relation to the health regulation, and of course the vehicles would be utilized to even help social distance. God bless you. Thank you, Corky. I want to say thanks.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your talk. It was really entertaining. I learned a lot. Yes, and Mr. Roberts wouldn't leave you if he knew you couldn't handle it. So you did a great job. Yes.
Okay. Thank you and good night.
All right. All the best. Don't forget Waves Restaurant and Bar. To enter there, you must be vaccinated. They're at Old Grafton Beach Road, Seaside, Black Rock, Tobago. You can book a table, you can dine in.
If you want to see a better life, yes, share the life. When the youth them know we got to try, they'll make the vibes. If you want to see a better life, yes. the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, big the vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Big the vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So I am calling